I mean, your status just changed. You just went from girlfriend to fiance. And you're gonna go from fiance to wife, but in between those two stages, there's so much to be done. Don't cheat yourself out of the amazing experience that is being newly engaged. Hi guys, welcome back. Happy first day of October, or at least I'm recording this on the first day of October. By the time I get it edited and finally get it out, it probably won't be the first day of October anymore. But in any event, happy new month. It's been a while. I hope y'all are doing amazing out there. I took a little break from YouTube just to handle some business and also celebrate my first year wedding anniversary with my husband, which was amazing and such a blessing. But now I'm back. So guys, there are 91 days left in this year. 91 days until we can say goodbye to 2020 and hello to the fresh start that is 2021 that we all desperately need, right? This year has been interesting, to say the least. It's come with its challenges, with its difficulties for all of us. But the plus side to it, if you will, is that it has allowed us to assess and to reassess so many things in our lives, including our relationships. And with those relationship assessments, you would have come to one of two conclusions. Either one, this ain't gonna work. I gotta get the heck up out of this relationship. Or two, this is it. I found my soulmate. I know that having endured what we have this year, we can endure anything. This is the person that I am equally and evenly yoked with. It's a match. And I know that a lot of you came to the latter decision, that you are with the right person. I've seen so many engagements this year, including my best friend, Erica. Shout out to you and Howard. And congratulations to everyone who did get engaged this year. It's going to be a super exciting time for you. It's going to be a super special time for you. And it can be a scary time only if you let it. I'm here to tell you that it does not have to be scary. It does not have to be stressful. I'm going to share with you a few tips on the initial planning steps you should take shortly after engagement to set yourself up so that the rest of your engagement period is one that you can truly enjoy and be as stress-free as possible. The first thing you need to do is to just take it all in. Bask in all of the happiness before you even delve into anything planning related. Take it in its full glory. You know, have a date night with your new fiance. Spend some quality time. Really celebrate the new commitment you're making to each other. Go see your mom and cry those tears of joy with her. While out with your girlfriends. You know, just be in the moment. And my suggestion is to give it a good 2 weeks after your engagement. A good 2 weeks before you do anything planning related. Okay, so now that you've taken it all in, if you can even wait this long, because I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't. I think a lot of us are gonna do this next step like immediately. And that is to share the good news. You wanna start with your parents, of course, and of course they already know, but if they are not physically there for the actual proposal, then make your first phone call or FaceTime to your parents. And follow that up with your close loved ones. They want to hear from you and not from an outside source. So once you've got that done, if you're a social media person, which not everybody is, I am, but if you're a social media person, go ahead and post that ring, girl. Let the whole world know. At this point, I know you want to shout it off the mountaintops and, you know, you're on cloud nine, so go ahead and tell the world. There's that B word again. We can't get away from it. It's budget. You have to establish your budget early on, and it really needs to be like the first thing you do when you start planning, because everything else is contingent on your budget. So you have to be very honest, very realistic, and include in the conversation of budget everyone who is contributing something. So if your parents are paying for some portion of your wedding, they need to be included in that budget conversation, because you need to know exactly what they are contributing so that you have a clear picture of what your budget is. And understand, budgets fluctuate. You might increase it. You might be able to increase it through the planning process, or it might be firm. But in any event, you got to have something to start with. Set your date as best as you can, especially if your engagement is going to last, only a year or less, because venues fill up. So the sooner you can get your venue and even your vendors, depending on who you go with for vendors, some of them are really high in demand and their calendars fill up pretty quickly. So you want to set your date as early on as you can, and you want to, unless you're absolutely tied to a certain date, you want to come up with 2 to 3 alternative dates too, just in case you find that, say, the venue that you really want isn't available on your particular day. It might be available on an alternate date. Come up with a realistic number for your guest list early on. Why? Because it's going to affect your budget. Obviously, the higher your guest count, the more money needs to be allocated to different parts of your budget. Also, it affects your venue. If you are expecting 300 people and, the venue that you're head over heels in love with maxes out at 200, then you either got to nix the venue or cut your guest list. So establish a realistic guest list early on, so that everything else falls into play. You need to go ahead and hire a planner or a coordinator, and call it a shameless plug, but it's the truth. Remember that a full service planner is going to take the reins from here, and they will handle just about all aspects of your wedding. And because of that, they do carry a higher price tag. Remember that a coordinator is stepping in about 30 days before your wedding date, where you would have essentially put everything into play already, and they are the professional that's now going to tie up the loose ends and handle all logistics on the day of your wedding. And for that reason, they are significantly lower priced. The decision on whether you go with a planner or a coordinator is going to be based, number one, on your budget and what you can afford, but also number two, on the services that you need. Are you looking for someone to handle everything? Or are you a very hands-on kind of bride, where you are literally going to do everything and you just need that professional eye to come in and overlook all of the final details and then put them into play on the day of your wedding? You need to book your venue as soon as possible, because venues get booked in advance, and if you sit on it too long, someone else is going to take your date. And with your venue scouting, you want to work smarter and not harder. So as opposed to giving yourself a list of, 20 venues to go visit, be realistic. Think about your budget and think about your theme. Make sure that all of those things align with the venue. I would say don't go more than 5 venues on your list that you're going to actually go visit, go tour, and then make your decision. And for some people, they already know what the venue is. They don't need to see anything else. It's within their budget. It goes perfectly with the theme they're looking to have. And that's it, one and done. For some, it's 2 to 3 venues they have to look at. But definitely, I would say try not to look at more than 5 venues. It's time consuming for you, and it's really just unnecessary. Just be realistic with what you're looking for and get your list narrowed down. I suggest picking your bridesmaids early on, really so that they can plan to not just be in attendance on the day of your wedding, but also for any of the pre-wedding festivities. You know, think about the nights leading up to the wedding where you might have a girls' night to make gift bags or favors, and consider that if you've got some groomsmen or bridesmaids that are coming in from overseas, they've got flights they need to book and vacation time they need to take from their jobs. Not to mention money that they need to save up in order for them to be in your wedding, because unless you're taking care of everything, they probably got to take care of their hair, their makeup, their dresses, their tuxes. So I just think it's respectful to give a heads up as early on as possible. And if there's any kind of drama surrounding who you're going to pick and who you're not going to pick, just go ahead and do the picking. Then it's out of the way. It's done. Already picked. You want to select your wedding dress as early as possible because the process of getting the dress is a lengthy one. You want to give yourself at least 6 months because most wedding dresses are made to order. So unless you try it on in the store and it's perfect, like in my case, I tried it on, it fit like a glove, it was perfect, I walked out with it. But that's not always the case. If you try on your dress and it doesn't fit, and they don't happen to have your size in stock at the store, they have to order it. And then it can take several weeks for it to come in. And then you want to factor another several weeks between your different fittings and alterations that might need to be done. So the safest bet is to get an early start on your wedding dress. That's really one of the things that takes the longest. I hope these tips were helpful. They are all really high priority in the planning process, and taking care of them early on sets the tone so that the rest of your planning and engagement period is enjoyable and stress-free. If you are currently planning your wedding or have planned a wedding in the past, let me know in the comments what were some of the first steps that you took. Also, if I can be of any help, keep in mind that I do offer full service wedding planning as well as coordination and consultation services. My contact details are on the screen right now and also in the description box below. You can give me a follow on Instagram at eventsbykadija. I'm also on Facebook. It's eventsbykadija. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.